Hello everybody, this is Joyce. I am recording the long-awaited question and answer video, so that's fun. Okay, so I said a couple of things. I said in my last video that my next video was not going to be overtly political. I was wrong. It is, because political things happened, and I cannot shut the fuck up. And also because it's important that we, talk about all of that. Anyway, but the other thing is that I also said in a post and other things, and in my last video, that my next video would be about Magia Record. And long story short, it will not be about Magia Record, it will be about Promare. And Promare is an excellent movie that I encourage all of you to watch. So go on, watch Promare. Maybe after you're finished watching this, or if you're listening to this, I suppose. You don't have to watch it. You can listen to it if you want. So those are, I think, the things that you should know. Anyway, let's get on with the questions. Rugged Midwesterner asks, and also, Ron's a real one, real good dude, go subscribe to their channel. Big plans you have at the beginning of your channel never pan out. They never pan out because engaging with people about your ideas inevitably makes your ideas better. That's true. Don't feel bad about it. I have at least 42 45-page scripts. I'm literally never going to film and publish. Oh my god, 45-page scripts. If I wrote a 45-page script, that would be like a 5-hour video. Because I got better at talking to people and I got better at explaining myself, better ideas will come to you in time. Questions. My dad was a big anime fan in the 80s and 90s, so really the only thing to ask is your thoughts on a bunch of old anime. Okay, so I have unfortunately not seen any of the anime that Ron listed. Several of them are on my list, and I know at least a couple of them are important, like, Akira and Mononoke are like legendary anime films that by famous anime directors. What else? Project A-ko is allegedly inspired Kill La Kill, which is related to Promare, because Kill La Kill is the spiritual antecedent to Promare. And Promare is very good, by the way. Gundam is a big thing that I have not gotten into because there's just way too much of it, and I'm not in the mood to... I've not lately been in the mood to get sunk into a big hole of everything. Fist of the North Star is, JoJo, but less ridiculous, apparently. Maybe I'll check that out sometime. Robot Carnival, never heard of that. Wild Card, Robotech, not Macross, Robotech. Okay, yeah, I haven't seen any of these anime. A couple of people asked me about some other anime that I haven't seen, and I don't know, I'll respond to those questions anyways, because I didn't get that many questions, and I'm gonna pad out the video time. Anyway, and that's all of the ones I know the names of specifically, and or have strong opinions of. My dad had just stacks and stacks of VHS tapes filled with all kinds of anime on it. Evidently, he recorded it over the course of 2 years when we had the Sci-Fi Channel back in, I want to say, 1990. Literally the first movie I remember watching is Akira. I have nothing more to contribute to this conversation. Have fun. Okay, Ron, your dad is the original torrenter. I'll say that. And torrenting is good because it's like VHS taping, It's kind of like VHS taping, and and so much so that media companies tried to sue the VHS companies for their VHS tape recordings, and that were possible. And but they decided it made money, so it was legal. Yeah. And that is your first lesson of the day, kids. Copyright is bad because it does not exist to protect the rights of intellectual property owners. I mean, it does, but no, copyright, yeah, because copyright only ever applies when it can be applied to make money. It is another pillar in the defenses of capitalism. Anyway, and so torrenting, and that is why torrenting is anti-capitalist praxis, in my opinion. Anyway, torrenting is good because it's democratizing of the online distribution of content, and democracy, real democracy, is a real good thing. And that is what anarchism is about. Real democracy. It's a good thing. Anyway, yeah. So your dad is cool, is what I'm saying. Your dad sounds like cool. Like real cool. So yeah. And that's my opinion. That's what I have to say about that. And I will eventually watch those anime, and I hope so. And if I have any opinions, also I will probably I'm probably gonna one thing I really would like to do in the long run is get more hard drives so that I can hoard more anime on more hard drives from torrenting in, the equivalent to your dad, the modern day equivalent to your dad's stacks and stacks of VHS tapes, which are very cool. I have said already. Moving on. What are your thoughts on achievements, trophies? Asks an anonymous curious cat paw. So achievements and trophies are weird, I think, because some folks seem to think that they're bad. I don't know. I don't know why this is. I'm sure somebody else will explain a perspective to me about why achievements and trophies are bad for video games in the comments below, and you're welcome to do that. But in my experience with game achievements and game trophies, okay, so there's this fun game called Hat in Time, and in a Hat in Time, there is a vacuum cleaner, and most players, there's a little Roomba in the spaceship, and most players will not think much about this Roomba, will they? I don't know. Well, I'm sure that a lot of players will probably just walk right by it and not consider to do much with it, and that's fine, I guess. But if you stand on the Roomba, it will move around with you, the little hat girl, on top of it. And that's fun. That's very fun. And you get an achievement for doing such a thing. And that is one instance in which I think achievements are very good. Because they're a little, a little wink from the developers. Oh yes, we see you here. We put that there. We knew you'd try that. Here. You clever, you sly dog, take this little achievement for your trouble, your little fun discovery, and that's how I think of it, as a little way for the developers to acknowledge some possibility in the game that you would never think of otherwise, or that you would think of, but that before, players might just think, oh, that's fun that's funny that you can do this. But, the developers can then just be aha, you figured it out. It's funny. It's fun. So yeah, and I'm sure that there are other kinds of achievements that are not so good or not interesting or not helpful, but that's how I think achievements should be used as a way of acknowledging when players have breached the walls of your possibility space in unexpected ways, and not just things that you would do in the game anyway. Although I suppose that those can be useful, as a means of tracking how many players have gotten to this point in the game. If you look at Steam statistics, which I know H Bomber Guy did in his Pathologic and Bloodborne videos, and that's also fine, I think. Yeah. So yeah, that's my opinion. Let's move on. Sorry if you've been asked this already, but have you seen Granbelm? No. Yes, part of it. I liked it. I know that I should probably finish the rest of it. It was very good from what I saw of it. Cool ideas about identity and existentialism. I will remember it. I will at one point finish watching it. And maybe I will say something about it, but I don't know. There are too many other anime that I have to watch already. Next question. Any thoughts on Satoshi Kon? No. Also no, unfortunately. I have not seen any of Satoshi Kon? Usually I look up when I'm not sure how to pronounce the name. I look up how the name is pronounced in Japanese, and I try my best to say that, but this is raw, so Satoshi Kon, I think is that seems right based on my fragmented memory and what I think would make the most sense based on Japanese pronunciations before, but I could be wrong. Anyway, and I know who they are. I haven't seen any of their movies. I haven't seen Paprika. I should see Paprika. I know it's a time travel movie, I think. I haven't seen Tokyo Godfathers. I should see it. It's a Christmas movie. It has a trans character. I know it would be good, probably. It also got a new dub where the trans character was voiced by a trans voice actress, and that's great. I think that's amazing. Trans voice actresses are good. And I know that Perfect Blue exists, and Perfect Blue is a celebrity movie, and maybe I can make up a pretentious thing about how it's about about YouTube, about what the hypothetical YouTuber biopic might look like. Like that's something I really want to see, actually. I really want to see, like, if we make it to... This is something that I tried to fit into my script on Carol and Tuesday, but I couldn't because it just didn't flow well. But something I'd really like to see if we make it to like the next decade, couple decades, blah, is if we have movies in the future. I want to see movies about YouTubers. I want to see, like, really, gritty period dramas about YouTubers. Sounds really funny saying it out loud, but like the music biopics that we already have right now, but hopefully better. And I mean, if for no other reason, then it would be funny or amusing or just interesting. I don't know if they'd be good, but it would be. I'm sure at least a couple of them would be, but it would be interesting. Like imagine 15 years from now, like you get like the Logan Paul historical drama where, like, it's all about his all the bullshit all the bullshit of how he was canceled, and then there's this whole, and then it makes this, and then they like make a redemption arc out of with him speaking out against racism, which is the thing that he did. I mean, Logan Paul speaking out against racism does not, mean that he did not do the shitty thing of filming the dead body in the woods. But I mean, it would be interesting. It would be entertaining and surreal to see a public figure from who, experienced some high points and low points in my lifetime, to have their life be dramatized and then be able to go back and say, yeah, I was, that movie sucks. That is not how it went at all with Mr. Paul and his bro and other things. I don't know. It would be amusing. I want to be amused in the future. If in the future. Anyway, have you ever wanted to make a video for your channel that you ended up deciding was just too off-brand for it? And the answer is no. Because one goal of my channel that I have had, that I am having, is for nothing to be off-brand. The only things that are off-brand are the things that I would not be interested in. Now, this does not mean that, I might decide not to make a video on the account of my audience or YouTube in general, not caring about it. I might decide to make other videos over others because I mean, that's just how YouTube is. But no, I don't I don't think I don't consider if something is on brand or not. It's like something that Big Joel said in one of his Q&As that I remembered and decided I wanted to emulate is he said that like he really likes that his channel has gotten to a point where he can just basically talk about anything he wants and anybody will listen to him for it, and they'll come to him talking about that thing because they like him. They want to hear what he has to say about this weird thing that he thought he was interested in, and like the whole thing is like, you don't. I think the important thing is like, don't presume if you want to start a YouTube channel, like don't presume like that what your other people are going to be interested in what you're talking about. Like, obviously, if you happen to be interested in something that other people are also interested in, and you're genuinely interested in it, then go do that. But don't don't start an anime channel because people watch anime. If you don't care about anime yourself, that is. Okay, and yeah, I guess that's the thing. Yeah, I want to be able to. I want like. What I'm saying is like that my method kind of is to just pick what I think is interesting and trust that the people who choose to follow me will also, will be the sort of people who are consistent, who trust me to consistently pick interesting things, even if those things are like not things that they have ever heard of before or thought to care about, or at least trust me to make it sound interesting to them. Yeah, I guess that's my answer to that question. Anyway, next thing. How do you feel about algorithms and the way they create an echo chamber of similar ideas? Okay, so as I said in my Carol and Tuesday video, algorithms are made by humans and stuff, and it's like my opinion is that algorithms in themselves are not, they're value neutral. They're not inherently a bad thing. They create an echo chamber as they are now, because that's the way that they've been designed. They've been designed to build echo chambers that satisfy other people's desires and biases. But the algorithms don't have to be this way. They can be designed to, to get people more interested in new ideas. Like, okay, so the reason why I like to think, I'd hope anyway, and I don't know, I could be very biased, but I'd hope that I have found a myriad of ideas because I have actually gone out and done the seek searching to find the things I am interested in. But I don't know, maybe I'm probably wrong actually about that. But yeah, like the algorithms will work for they will eventually work you have to curate your algorithms. You have to know what's good for you already. And the algorithm unfortunately can't tell you what's good for you. And the problem is that it's designed with the pretense that it will tell you what's good for you. And that's a problem. So I do think that social media websites in general, they I don't know about all the solutions. I don't think that I don't think, for instance, that trying to shut out toxic and bad ideas from I don't think that my using the YouTube algorithm to keep Nazis out of my recommended feed is a bad thing. Although maybe I could respond to a Nazi. But I won't, because I'm not Sean and I don't feel like it. Anyway, and the other thing with that is, what was I saying? Yeah, so I think algorithms should be that social media websites should, they won't, but they should take a real good, hard, critical look at how they've designed their existing algorithms and, consider, like, is this worth keeping around? Is this a decent idea for how to structure our website? Is this healthy for the people who are using it? And if it's not, then they should rebuild it. But that won't happen anytime soon until we make it so that we have an incentive to create a systems like that. So yeah, that's my opinion. And I have also I guess like the other thing I would say is like that websites are like they're like buildings, you have to. So I think that in a like how a building, like the way that a space is designed will influence how you act in that space. That's why like schools are designed in such a way to facilitate orderly travel between one class to another and funnel students from one classroom to another. And prisons are designed in such a way to, communicate order and stuff. It's not just saying, this is a place of order. It's building an architecture that suggests this. And I think it's a similar thing on websites. If you don't design this space of the internet, like if you design it thoughtlessly, and it seems many websites were designed thoughtlessly, but if you don't design your website if you don't design a website with thought of like, how are people going to navigate this virtual space? What does this communicate to the user, about how the website is meant to be used? And if it communicates something that is unsafe for the users, right, you need to fix that. So it's my opinion that, similar to how we have regulations for how buildings ought to be designed, and, it's all standardized in some way or another, right? We ought to have regulations for how websites are designed, for how the internet is for how the internet spaces are set up, and we need to make it such that at the very least, and I'm not sure of all the answers of what these would be, but I'm not a website internetologist. I don't know what that word is, the internet scientist. But if it can be reasonably concluded that a certain feature or combination of features or application of features on websites is conducive to a harmful use of that website, then those features should be banned, and we should set up regulations that websites adhere to, so that they, so that they're safe places to use. The same way that we regulate public spaces and buildings, so that they're safe places to live. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. My blood will disagree with me about all this all day. Had age-long arguments about this, but one age-long argument about it. But yeah, that is my opinion. Let's move on. Were you part of any clubs in high school? No, I was homeschooled. What is a peculiar obsession that you have, scientific interest or hobby, that feels peculiar to share with people? And okay, so YouTube, really, because YouTube is a weird thing to say that you do in the real world, I think. So I usually don't say it unless it's something that I'm asked about, or that feels appropriate to bring up, unless the conversation goes to it. I don't mention that I do YouTube. I also don't mention that I like anime titties, and lesbians with anime titties, and anime lesbians. I don't mention that I like those things generally, because those are weird things to like for most people. I guess, like, scientific interests, though. Yeah, like, except for those things, except for, like, the weird things, I guess. Like, I mean, honestly, like, have you ever felt self-conscious about neurodivergence? And if so, how did you deal with it? And yeah, and like, the thing is with that is, like, I'm just generally, like, a weird person. And, and if it seems like people will be chill about how weird I am and the unusual or, like, niche obsessions that I have, then, like, I'll tell them about it. So, like, I'll be eager to tell them about it. But, like, usually, like when I'm confident that it'll be okay to talk about this thing, then, like, it's a no-brainer to talk about it. But if I'm worried that it won't be received so well if I talk about it, then that's a whole other problem, I guess. Yeah, that's my opinion. That's my feeling about that. I guess that doesn't really answer about neurodivergence, and I don't deal with neurodivergence. I mean, I do. I kind of. It's so weird. It's so confusing. Like, I mean, usually the way I deal with it is I just literally tell people, I'm sorry, I'm weird. I'm making this more difficult than it needs to be by saying all these weird things and doing all these weird things. Let me start over. Let me back up. I try to forewarn people that I'm a little bit weird when I talk to them. Or I just try to actively censor myself and not be weird. And also just neuter my personality in the ways that I tend to do when I'm not sure it'll be okay to talk about a thing or express something. I guess also, like, the other thing is that, there's so many things about just neurodivergence and mental illness and just nonsense that I don't even know where to begin, really. Yeah, I don't have any good ways of dealing with it. I don't know what I'm talking about. I just know that it's complicated and difficult. Anyway, if you had to participate in one athletic sport for a year without worry about financial costs to play, I don't play sports. Moving on. Do you find it hard to watch an anime or play a game without wanting to make a video on it? Yes, I do. Yeah. I actually need to get better at, like, recently I was recently watching Baccharina, which is a very good anime that I really love, and I felt free at that because that anime is a harem anime that about a bunch of girls and boys destined to be in a polycule. and it's a bisexual harem anime, and it's good. It's very good. And I enjoy it. But yeah, and I don't know if I have anything big to say about it. But it just made me feel so good and fuzzy that I didn't feel bad so much about like not feeling like I need to make a video on it. And that's the thing. But yes. Okay, thanks for the question. Would you say there's a big difference? Okay. This is kind of related to the last question. What are you watching, reading right now, etc., purely for your own sake? Baccharina. I need to catch up on it. I also started playing Breath of the Wild a bit ago. So that too. And I don't know if I really like Breath of the Wild or not. There are things I like about it. There are things I don't like about it. I need to get back to but yeah. And I don't really know how much time I'll have for it because the protests are going on, and I have another video to make, and also I am trying to figure out my existence. But would I say there's both in the type? Yeah. So generally speaking, the type of media that I enjoy is the type of media that I will be interested in analyzing, and I find that most of the time, like if I go into something with the intent of analyzing it, it's because I know like I know I will, and it's also because I know I will enjoy it. And if I go into like something that when the Madoka video happens, like I rewatched Madoka because like I had already seen Madoka one time, and like I already knew that I liked Madoka, and then I went back to watch it. Okay, so yeah, I guess the way that I'd answer this is like there isn't really like a big difference. It's just Yeah, when I went back to rewatch Madoka, it was for the video. So my answer to that question would be, is the media that I consume for enjoyment is media that I'm watching for the first time. And the media that I consume for analysis is media that I've already seen and that I'm going back to review because I enjoyed it and want to talk about it. And that doesn't always pan out. I went back to watch American Ultra because American Ultra is like a movie that I find really interesting because although it's written by Max Landis, who is a bad person, but it is a movie that I find interesting because, well, firstly, because I enjoyed it. But when I went back to watch it, because I was thinking of making a video on it, I actually noticed a lot of really, really interesting subtext in it. Like, for instance, I noticed that, like, it had this sort of weird libertarian anti-military undercurrent going on, like, where, you know, it was like the movie's all about how, if you really like think about what the movie is saying and like, you know, what the things that it's signposting, it's about how the United States government can just decide to kill a man for no good reason with impunity. And doesn't that kinda be fucked up? And, you know, also that they can do worse things than kill a man. They can mind control a man. Or a woman. They can violate a person's privacy, or they can manipulate a person into killing a regular U.S. I said U.S. citizen. Regular U.S. citizen. And, you know, and that's all pretty fucked up. But the weird thing about American Ultra is that at the end of the movie, even though Mike Howell's whole thing is that he's all like, oh, you know, like, he gets told by the laughing guy, Goggins, I think his name oh, you're free. Nobody told you what to do. That must be real nice that the government didn't tell you what to do, like the government mind-controlled me and told me what to do, but you just went on your own murder spree for freedom. Ain't that fun? And you know, and that's that makes sense as a thing. Like, you know, it's about him, like Mike Howell, this guy who was taken advantage of by the government, freeing himself from the government, rebelling against the bad government. But then the bad government agent is killed, and we're left with the good government agents, and Mike Howell goes back to work, working for the good government agents. And then, don't that be fucked up? That's my opinion on American Ultra, and I was thinking about going back and actually, like, I wrote like a little bit of a script about American Ultra that I couldn't make work because I felt the need to go and research the MK Ultra program and talk about it, and it took too much time, and past a certain point I was just like, this takes too much time. Nobody's going to watch this video because nobody cares about American Ultra. Fuck this. And I decided not to do it. So I decided not to do it. And that's my opinion. Okay. Now, naturally, if I did get like a bunch of subscribers who, you know, wanted to see it, and I decided it was maybe worth going back to because now I'm making money and I can, you know, make a video I care about without, well, taking a bit of a hit, like, and not bringing in as many new people with the new video, like, sure, then I might go back to American Ultra. But as it stands right now, I will probably not make that video anytime soon. Although I would like to. I think it would be good. Now let's move on. Any anime recommendations for someone whose only familiarity was an old, unhealthy obsession with bad harem animes? Okay, Promare, Madoka Magica, Bloom Into You, Akane Sasu Shoujo, the girl in Twilight. That's a good one that just popped in my head. That was a really good one. I thought about making a video about that, but I don't think enough people will watch that video, or if I'll care enough to make it, or if I might if I go back to that anime, but I just haven't had an incentive to, or thought about it. And also, what other thing? I'm just gonna throw a list up on the screen, and those will be my anime recommendations. Okay? All right. Now let's get on with the next question. All right, big question hour. Do you know the Muffin Man? And more actual question: If you have watched Magia Record, I have seen it more than once now, and yes, I am working on a video about it. I'm not going to talk about it right now, because whatever I could say here, I will inevitably say better when I finish the video that I'm working on the script for. Okay, next question. Have you ever watched Backstroke of the West? No. Next question. What do you credit 1K people discovering your channel? So basically, I think probably the popularity of the Madoka videos certainly helped it along. The facts that I got at least a couple of, the facts that my videos were good enough that people wanted to share them, I think. I mean, I hope they were good enough. I hope that you shared them because they were good. Also, because I posted them on Reddit, and I got a little bit of traction from Reddit, and I haven't really posted a video on Reddit lately because Reddit is terrible, and I don't feel like going back there. But... oh my god. I think some garbage collection's happening. Just ignore it. And also, I think, I don't know. I mean, I think I just, I just did enough of a push to, I mean, I don't know, but I tried to make my videos content that people would care about and want to see more of. And apparently I succeeded. So there. I can't tell you if that's I don't know. That's not a perfect formula for getting people to subscribe to you. I can't tell you what will work for you. I guess what I would say is just be to anybody who's looking to start a YouTube channel in general, just as somebody who's still kind of starting one and has no idea what they're doing, just do whatever you think is good, whatever interests you, and don't ever, and just try whatever you think is good. Don't the early days of your channel are essentially a free, your free time to experiment with what works, because you got nothing to lose, right? So you can just decide what will work for your channel, if it's video essays, if it's animation, animatics, or if it's music or whatever. You can try a little bit of all of it and see how it goes, and pick whatever people are pick, and evolve as people respond to things, and and also just don't worry about being typecast, I guess, is one thing or another. There's every YouTuber has that one video that's so much more popular than all their other videos, and they can either lean into that thing by only making videos about that thing and nothing else ever again, or they can try to diversify their audience a little and have a smaller but more engaged and more interesting audience with videos that are more diverse and interesting. So yeah. just do what works for you. Just try things out and do what you think works. Anyway, non-media analysis channels that you really enjoy watching. Okay, so I probably need to watch more other media analysis channels. I mean, non-media analysis channels. Specifically non-media analysis channels that are run by trans people, because most of the YouTubers that I watch that are trans people are the people who are trans people like me, who do media analysis as trans people. For non-media analysis channels, I guess, so depending what you call, I suppose this qualifies as like a different kind of media analysis. Like so Stop Skeletons from Fighting is like probably one of my favorite YouTube channels because they basically replicate the experience of reading a gaming magazine in the 90s, but on YouTube, and it's like this stuff is old now, and it's not to promote this old stuff, but because it's really cool, and people gotta know about this old stuff. So that's my opinion. Yeah. Why do I keep saying that's my opinion? It's just a YouTube channel recommendation. Anyway, yeah, I really like Stop Skeletons from Fighting. That's a channel I like. Are there other channels that I like? I guess also another channel that I like, and this is somebody who I talked to and who follows me on Twitter, so they probably, I guess, biased here, but I really like the content that Silverface makes. They are not really about media analysis, at least not so far, and they've made some really nice little anti-capitalist parables that I enjoy. I like, and also, just like historical, important things. And, a video about how to do direct action good. And that is, yeah. Silverface is good. There are other YouTube channels who are good, and you know what, if I think of any in editing, I will put them up on the screen now. Okay, let's move on. I don't have a favorite soup. Next question. Have you played Suda 51's Kill the Past games? And if so, what are your thoughts on them? No, I have not. I have only played Killer 7 and a significant chunk of the No More Heroes PS3 port, albeit emulated, and I should play Kill the Past games. I should play all the Suda games, but I have not because time exists. Ostensibly. Yeah, but I really like Killer 7. I've been thinking for a while about making a video about Killer 7, and I would like to make a video about other Suda games if ever I play them. But that is a thing that will be a lot more likely to happen with more Patreon donations. Although my Patreon is not the most important thing in the world right now, but it is an important thing for my livelihood, but it is not the most important thing in the world because I am not the most important thing in the world. But yeah, you can donate to my Patreon for possible Suda game coverage if you wanna. Next question. What inspired you to make video essays in the first place? Okay, so there are many different answers to this question. I could start with so many different things. So the first thing is that I always, starting when I was about 13 or 12 or 13 or so, I really wanted to be a filmmaker. I really wanted to make movies. I really wanted to make some good movie shit. And before that, I wanted to make video games, and I still want to make video games. But then I wanted to make movies. I always wanted to make something. I always wanted to make some kind of cool narrative art. And I did not do those things, obviously. So I always had an interest in just narratives in general. I wanted to make narratives somehow. So I specifically got into video essays because of folks who I started paying attention to, the channel Wisecrack got me a little bit interested in video essays more. Like Wisecrack, I think their work is hit or miss in my opinion. They do some good stuff. They've done some not that good stuff. That's kind of the way it is with channels that commit to regularly feeding the YouTube machine without comp all of the time. You know, they've got a pretty good production the wheel going with all the many people who work for them, and that's fine. The other thing that I really like is what am I saying? Yeah, so Wisecrack got me interested in video essays. Just Right got me interested in other video essays, and a little bit before that, Mother's Basement also was I guess like Mother's Basement was like the biggest like maybe my first like big YouTuber inspiration. I think that I know a lot of people don't really like Jeff Thu or his content. I think that Jeff seems like a nice guy. I've never really spoken to him, but I don't know him. But he seems all right. I've spoken to other people who have spoken to him, and he seems all right. And Jeff's content is probably definitely still a decent amount of influence on my work. But, you know, obviously I also have other influences, like Super Eye Patch Wolf, like the Pedantic Romantic, like H-Bomb and all the BreadTube-ish people, obviously. And it's like my whole thing is like, and also movies with Mikey in particular, it took a long time before I really figured, like, I knew for a while I wanted to make some kind of video essays, but I didn't really know how to go about it. And it took me some time before I realized, like, why I wanted to make video essays and what I wanted to do with them. And movies with Mikey and Super Eye Patch Wolf in particular really made me decide what kind of things I wanted to do, you know. I wanted to make, you know, appreciative content, but also critical content, because a lot of the people I'm inspired by are critical content makers, and I'm also a critical person, so, you know, or at least I like to think that I am. So yeah, what inspired me to make video essays was just an interest in narratives, and an interest in trying, in seeing these things and trying it out. And also the thing that I'm trying to do is like a lot of the people like movies with Mikey and H-Bomber Guy and all those people, like, they have so much more resources. You know, they can do costume skits now. You know, they have editors and other writers working for them. They can do other cool stuff. And I'm just like one person. So, you know, like I guess my MO really is just like to emulate their theatrics, their expensive theatrics on a budget, you know. I want to be the B-movie H-Bomber Guy, I guess is what I'm saying. And I mean, H-Bomber Guy already kind of is a B-movie producer with his movie that he made, kind of. Yeah, so that's what motivates me. That's the creators who motivated me to make video essays. That's who I'm trying to take after. And I want to do it because I feel, because telling good stories gives me a nice feeling, and hearing that people found something from them also gives me a nice feeling. So I want to do that for people while I'm alive, and I can. I think that that's my talent. That's the thing I'm suited to doing. And that is the way that I wish to contribute good to the world. I hope that's you know, that's good for people. So moving on. What kind of music do you like? All kinds. Every kind. Forever. So, like, the weird thing, really, is that, like, I've always, like, been super big on, like, music that was attached to other things that I liked. Like, I like soundtracks and, like, theme songs of anime and movies and video games and such, and, finding music for video essays has actually been, like, made me, challenged me a bit to expand my music tastes beyond, like, the things that I already kind of liked and didn't really think about much. Like, I guess also, like, my mom was big on Nirvana, so I listened to Nirvana sometimes, and Nirvana's good, I think. Nirvana's was a good band with a good vibe. I think I like some other bands also, but I'm forgetting if are there other bands. I forget. It's been a long time. Yeah. So a lot of my time, when I'm not writing scripts or watching anime or doing other things, I just try to pull up some random music and see what things I find that are interesting. And if I find something that I think, like, that, like, makes me think of a genre that, like, I could use in a video essay, then I try to find some, like, royalty-free or copyright-free-ish music that, that I can use in the essay for, like, a thing, to say a thing, and I use that. And also, and also, I guess, like, my music tastes are weird to describe also, because mostly I go by what music gives me a certain feeling that I want to emulate in a moment, and that can't always be pinned down with a genre label. I like synth music, I like vaporwave, I like lo-fi, I like rock and heavy metal. Brutal Legends, the game, made me more interested in heavy metal, and sometimes I go back and look for some of it and listen to it. I like ambient music. I like listening to ambient music when I'm just trying to exist. I think ambient music creators are really doing the world a service right now. I think we all need music that, is just some sound that we can exist to. So yeah. And that is my opinion about my music tastes. What is your favorite Nintendo game of all time, and why is it Super Mario Odyssey? Asks Transparency, and Transparency is a good channel to whomst one should subscribe. The host, Alicia, did a really good a voice in my video that on Carol and Tuesday. She did a real nice job. It's a real good voice, and I appreciate her help on that. And her partner Kiki, who is like helps with writing and editing the videos, is really nice, and I haven't like. And they are both really nice people, and yeah, I am glad that they've been super supportive and stuff, and they're just really nice. So go look for them, look them out. They're fun. Anyway, my favorite Nintendo game is not Super Mario Odyssey, because I have not played Super Mario Odyssey. I don't know that I have a favorite Nintendo game yet. I haven't played enough of them. I've played, the big ones, I guess. Animal Crossing New Horizons is good. I played a bit of Super Mario Sunshine, it seemed good. I played a bit of, I've played Breath of the Wild, as I mentioned. I have mixed feelings about it, still. I think that the motion control gyroscopic puzzles are nonsense, trial and error garbage that just exists because the game is contractually obligated to take advantage of motion controls, and it's stupid. I don't like it. I think it's dumb. That's That's my opinion about the motion control puzzles. I think that I played some of Splatoon at like store demos and stuff. I would probably like Splatoon a lot more if I played it more. What's another game that I like from Nintendo? I don't know. I can't think of any off the top of my head. Blah. Played a bit of Pokemon. Played a bit of Pokemon Heart Gold, I guess. I'm pretty sure I've lost all my save files for it because I wiped my computer all the multiple times that I did. I don't know. Maybe they're actually on my external hard drive. I should check. But I think Pokemon Heart Gold is all right from what I've played of it. I don't know. Yeah. Yeah. In general, I think Nintendo games are all right. I think they're good. I think they're fun, aesthetic game exercises, and some of them have done really important things, but none out of the Nintendo games that I've played, there are none of them that I could call one of my favorite games ever. I don't think. I really like Animal Crossing New Horizons, but it's an interesting game, and I would really like to see an adult-oriented Animal Crossing where instead of going to a happy island in where the world is fine and stuff and it's all happy in paradise is already happy in paradise. It's I would like to see a super hardcore adult Animal Crossing where you land on you have to start a colony in a world doomed by environmental catastrophe, and then you have to rebuild it again, I don't know, it's there's maybe some really I don't think maybe any monsters or anything, but it probably will start out really somber and tragic and with all the dead things. And maybe some of the animals who are with you on your dead island will also die because if you manage the limited supply of factory food incorrectly and make that all hardcore and grim and then and at the end of the game you've nurtured if the way the win state is nurturing the environment back to health, and basically Animal Crossing, but Animal Crossing New Horizons taken up to 20, where you have to really, really work to earn paradise. I think that would be cool, and interesting. I want that game. Somebody should make that game. In indie game developers, you have a free game idea. You can steal it. Okay, that's all the questions. I think that's all of it. The premiere video will be out soon. And what else? ACAB, Black Lives Matter. Bye-bye.